Nathan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I just want to say that I have been, this might be a little bit thingy, but I've been putting it in my journal for probably like 2 years about you coming on the podcast.
Really?
Seriously.
Oh my God, that's
like,
amazing.
Literally, seriously. And I was thinking about it today and I was like, I am buzzing that you're coming on the podcast. And I'm kind of glad we didn't do it before there was a studio because it's just going to be face-to-face, more energy. So I'm absolutely buzzing. So thank you so much for this. It's going to be good. I know. And I thought we could start with like how we met. Do you remember the first time we actually met? Because
I think so. I was in a bit of a funny job role, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So I was kind of between two teams and your team kind of started to adopt me. So I just turned up at your team meeting one day and I think that was the start of it really. And then it just got more that I ended up coming to all your team things and then I was in your team.
So when I was in the ICP.
Yeah.
And you was, because like doing half a role.
Yeah, it was a really mixed role. So I was kind of like coming into your team to get more experience. Then we used to meet in that little room, didn't we, in that old building where we just used to kind of go through kind of our week and discuss what happens. And it's like highs and lows of a week.
Yeah, I've just got memories. I've got memories of that where we used to just go, right, what's 3 good things about the week?
Yeah.
Which highs and lows about the week. And then I've got memories of us just being on Teams calls and like, all we've done, our whole friendship, I feel like, is laugh when we're together.
Yeah, because when COVID happened, we just got like put remotely, didn't we, and working from home every single day. And we created that open office. So we made this open office and we were like, yeah, everyone can join our open office. But secretly it was just for me and you.
And no one actually joined.
No.
And we just sat there all day just working.
But I think it's what we both needed, you know, like during that period, like you were living alone, weren't you, in Chester, and we're both kind of living alone. So to have that every day, just that consistency and someone to talk to, it was so nice and it was so funny. Yeah,
it's true, you know, actually, because if I didn't have you at the time, I probably would have been pretty lonely for COVID. And we just used to laugh all day. And then do you remember when Emma used to put us on a meeting and she'd be like, messaging us like, you two need to stop making each other laugh, because I had to put a sticky note. I don't know if I've told you this before. I had to put a sticky note over where you were on Teams so I couldn't see your face because I just used to laugh.
It was so bad. And I don't know even why we were laughing, but I think I'd just be watching you on the camera and even if you pulled the silliest face, like just by accident, I'd be like, oh my God, look, Emma Jane, like,
We still do it now. So I'm so glad that we've kept this episode face to face because I just think it's just a vibe.
Yeah, I'm glad.
It is just a vibe. So, and then Emma, our queen.
Yeah.
Our queen, Emma.
Amazing.
Who you still get to work with.
Yeah. No, she's so good. I think she's helped us both, hasn't she, in our careers and like really kind of, I think she's really passionate about our development as much as kind of, she's very passionate about the business and how that kind of is a success. But actually in terms of like the people, it's really important to her that we're kind of developing and progressing in our careers.
Yeah, she's like a natural life coach / leader / powerhouse.
Yeah.
She's like that person where like we'll have like a little shrine for Emma. She must think, oh, these two need to get over me.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Why are you so obsessed with me? Okay, so obviously we're going to talk about all things confidence today, and we're going to talk about queerness and gay vibes and all that sort of thing, which I'm dead excited to get into. I wanted to ask, like, this is a genuine question because you're one of my best friends and we are very close and I feel safe to ask you this. So I want to ask you this, right? Because I was thinking, like, when I wasn't sure if I ask you questions about being gay, like whether that is something that is like offensive or if that is something that is like not offensive. And I'm just going to be dead open about it because it's something that I'm trying to be really more curious and I'm trying to be more like I'm trying to learn myself, and my own self-growth is a little bit like learning about all different cultures and everything. And I feel like part of me just gets a little bit scared to speak about certain things because I don't want to offend someone, but I feel like that's the whole part. And then half of me is thinking, actually, it's not offensive because you're one of my best friends and it's very interesting. Like, it's part of who you are.
Yeah.
And the other half is like, but I don't want to be intrusive. But I just wanted to ask because it's just like a personal thing that I just think, yeah.
Yeah. As you say, it's kind of part of who I am. So like, yeah, I think that's absolutely normal to ask questions about it. I think like we've got a very good personal relationship, and I think kind of those questions kind of would be more deeper because of kind of our friendship and our relationship kind of in that. Whereas if people are kind of you don't know are asking you very personal questions, that's where it's a bit like, would you ask someone who is straight that question? But kind of like when you're in a friendship with someone and kind of you're close, then I think like it's just part of a conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's part of the thing I was thinking. I was like, if you were straight, I wouldn't be asking you those questions. So I was just a little bit confused as I was doing the structure. And I was thinking, I feel like I'm going to talk about it because I feel safe with you to talk about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, yeah, that makes sense. So if I didn't know you, that's quite an intrusive thing to talk about, but because we're so close, then yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's like sometimes there's questions that you might be curious about, but kind of it's okay to ask, and like it's okay to get things wrong. Like if you think about trans and kind of like gender pronouns and things like that, like it's better to ask somebody than kind of just assume and get it wrong. So yeah, I think questions are good, aren't they? It's just making sure they're kind of proportionate and kind of in the right context. So yeah, exactly.
I do think that it is important to ask questions, and it's quite scary sometimes to ask questions. And I think a lot of society struggle to ask questions, and that's where you get that like arrogant side of things from, because it's hard too. So I won't talk about it too much, but I just want to say thank you for that, because that was quite a thing for me to ask. So I do appreciate that little safe space. Thank you. So let's, what's the best thing about being a gay man?
Best thing about being a gay man? I don't know, I think kind of my journey kind of since probably come out about the age 16, 17, I think kind of I can see I've grown totally as a person and kind of probably changed a lot from that person I was when I was 16 in terms of my confidence and the person I am today. So I think I've been very lucky in terms of my journey. I've kind of been very well accepted. Like no one's really had any issues with my sexuality, so it's been quite a nice journey for me. Obviously, not everyone has it as easy as that, and it can be really challenging for people. But yeah, for me, the best part of being a gay man, I don't know. I think it's probably like the people who I've surrounded myself with. Like I've got kind of that safe space around me, those kind of people I'm close to, and kind of, living my best life.
Living your best life, yeah. And I know you do live your best life. And I was going to say, is it the sex? But
I'm like a born again virgin.
And obviously, I know that you've had like a good, like your journey is you've got confidence, and you have been on a lot in the time that I've known you. You've done lots to sort of grow your confidence and stuff. We both have. Like if you were giving advice to somebody who was a lot younger than you, who was like 16 or something, as a gay person, like what would your advice be?
I think it's a journey, and it's not easy to accept. Like I think when I was younger, like if I just took a pill to be straight, I would have. Like I wouldn't have questioned it. Like I think that would have been such an easy solution at the time. But I think it's ultimately you're on a journey and kind of go at your pace with that journey. So there's no rules to coming out. There's no kind of rules to how you need to be as a gay person. It's kind of it's part of you. It's not necessarily defines who you are. So yeah, it's taking it slow, like doing things at your pace. Don't feel forced to do anything, and kind of put yourself out there as well. So I think historically, kind of the gay scene is very much kind of drinking, kind of going out partying. There's so much more out there. Like there's outdoor groups, there's so much, there's something for everyone really, but it's kind of finding out what's out there. And if you are struggling, there's lots of charities kind of you can reach out to. There's kind of charities like Switchboards, Mind Out I think it's called. So yeah, kind of see what's out there, but like spending time to kind of become comfortable in yourself. Yeah,
I think like you say, it's important to talk about things as well, like and seek support. So for me, it's very difficult. So like for me, I think it's just part of like my mum's gay, one of my best friends is gay, but you as an individual, that's still quite a big thing for people, isn't it? To people still say like come out. like it's still quite a big thing.
Yeah. And you don't come out once in your life. You come out kind of multiple times. You might come out to your parents. You might come out to your friends. Then you start a job and you might come out there. Then you start another job. You go to university. So there's so many points in your life. You might just meet somebody and that's another coming out journey. So I think people are very much kind of the mind that you come out and you come out once, but actually you come out so many times in your life, and probably about the first time you come out is the hardest, and it's probably the most empowering. Like, it's weird to say, and when I say it, I'm like, it doesn't sound true, but when I come out for the first time, I actually felt a weight had been lifted off my shoulder, like a physical weight. I could feel it being lifted off my shoulder. It was crazy, like a crazy feeling. But yeah, it does get easier as you come out more and kind of tell more people. But you never know quite how someone's going to react. So luckily, it's generally been positive for me, but there's times when people might not be accepting, but it's their problem, not really your problem. Like, you are who you are, like, be happy with that. Yeah,
it's really empowering. And I guess it's like a bit of, like, it's self-acceptance.
Yeah.
Which is part of confidence, isn't it? Like, actually, this is who I am, so I'm just going to put it out there and take it or leave it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of, like, the history of gay men, what's like one of the biggest moments that it means something to you?
There's loads, to be fair.
Yeah,
I think
doesn't have to be one.
Yeah, so I think Pride is a massive part of kind of our history. So the first Pride, I think it happened in London, and it was a protest. So Pride started off being a protest. Now I think we see Pride as more of a party. But I think it's really important we remember it is still a protest, because while in the UK, we're probably quite far advanced in terms of like our rights. We're not where we need to be. I think there's so much more that could happen. But if you think about other countries across the world where it's illegal to be gay, like, we should be protesting for those people. Like, they haven't got a voice right now, so it should be for us. So I think Pride is a massive thing, and I think it's remembering the roots of Pride. So not just Pride as a party. Pride is great. Like, have you ever been to a Pride?
I'm going to Pride this year.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, you'll love it. It is such a good vibe, and I think everyone's it feels like you're in it together. Like, there's a real sense of community, and I think that's something that's nice about in the gay world. There is a gay community. So yeah, Pride, you'll love it.
Yeah.
And then other things.
Can I just tell you quickly? Yeah. So I didn't go to Pride last year, but I went to like a daytime drinking thing in the Carriage Shed in Chester last year at Pride. And then I met my mum. She went to Pride with Lisa. I met my mum and Lisa after, and she was with all her friends. And she's literally like Queen of the Gays.
Yeah.
She is literally like Queen of the Gays. Honest to God. She had and I'm like, Mum, you're like proper popular. Like, why does everybody know who you are?
Yeah.
And they're like, Karen. I was like, what the hell?
I actually saw your mum at Liverpool Pride, I think probably like 2 years ago. And like, she did have a big crowd around her then as well. Like, yeah.
It's like secret, like I didn't even know she was like that. And I was like, no, Mum. So I said to her when I get married, I said, Sash is going to be Queen of the Gays. You know, in the hen party.
I love it.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So Pride, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you'll have the best time. I think I need to decide which Prides I'm going to this year. I've done some abroad ones as well, so they've been really good. Some in Spain, so really good, yeah.
Yeah, and it's literally not just protesting in the UK. Then it's like all around the world.
Yeah. There's Pride in a lot of countries. Most countries. I think there are some places where Pride isn't allowed. Really recently in the headlines, Budapest. So they've banned the Pride March. So that's even more of a reason.
Or
because of like the values and they don't agree with being gay or LGBTQ plus. So yeah, it's banned this year in Budapest. And when you think of Budapest, it's not it feels like it's a European country.
Yeah.
It feels like when I've been to Budapest, it seems like a very accepting place. But yeah, so it's cancelled there. And that's why it's so important. But we continue to have prides, and we continue to protest for like people in Budapest, and so they can have a pride, because it's so important. And it's not just the day, there's so much around Pride. So I think Chester Pride is a really good example of that community spirit that goes on all year. So there's fundraising that happens, like the money raised for that goes to LGBTQ plus projects across Chester, Cheshire, same with Liverpool Pride. So there's lots of things that don't just happen on that day, but actually throughout the year.
Yeah.
people are supported in various ways.
Yeah, it's probably like the biggest protest that I know about that happens on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it is good. I don't know why government decide, like who decides that we're not having it this year. Like who are they to say no?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
Go protest outside their house. Do you know, one of the biggest things for me about like the history and things was, which brought it home for me, was, you know, that programme It's a Sin?
I was literally going to mention that, yeah.
Oh my God, honestly, like I reminded myself of it this morning. I was actually crying thinking about it. I could probably cry talking about it now. I can't talk about it too long.
Yeah.
Oh my, like it just brings home like what it was actually like during the 80s. I think it's like...
Yeah. And when you think about it, like the 80s wasn't that long ago really. No. And like when I watched it, I was really surprised, really shocked and really emotional. Like I don't think I've ever cried so much at something, because like it really struck me. Like it was crazy. It wasn't so long ago. And actually like in those characters, I saw myself. Like I saw like that could have been me, quite easily could have been me. And to watch kind of the journey that people went on, it was traumatic to watch. Like it was one of the best things I've ever watched, and I'd recommend kind of watching it to anyone, because I think it's so important that we understand that history and that history isn't forgotten or isn't erased. But yeah, it's amazing how far things have come, but back then how hard it was.
Yeah, there was like a couple of scenes in it where I just think the guy that got locked away in a room on his own, I just like, your heart just breaks. And I feel like, same, I just think like that could be any of people I know. And it's just like, wow, people were treated like that not even that long ago. Yeah. But like you say, we've come a long way since then. So things have changed a lot since in such a short space of time. But so, you know, when you say like things still need to change, what are like some things that you think probably aren't quite there yet and need to be?
I think across kind of the LGBTQ plus community, I think trans people have got it really hard right now, I think. They're used as a political football, and the political parties kind of more to the right are kind of those ones who are really using trans people as kind of a reason to cause hate. And same like with lots of other things, and kind of picking on those kind of minority groups, kind of those people who actually probably need the support the most. So for trans people, there was recently within this government around puberty blockers, and I'm not an expert by any means on any of this, so I won't go into the detail, but kind of they've been stopped for trans people, and I think that's caused quite a lot of outrage within the trans community, and I think quite rightly so from my understanding of it. And kind of, just generally like people should be, it should be people's life, like it's nothing to do with anyone else. Like how they live their life is how they live their life, and actually it's probably not, it's definitely not easy being trans and that journey that people go on. Like mental health kind of within the LGBTQ plus community, particularly trans people, like the instances are so high. Like the number of kind of trans people who will attempt to take their own life, like it's crazy, it's so sad. So I think kind of definitely more kind of needs to be done there. And I think the risk of going back in time as well, because you can see kind of things kind of slipping a little bit when we talk about in America, like the diversity programs having funding stripped from them. Like that's a massive risk, because you're kind of starting to erase things that kind of actually they don't cost that much money in the grand scheme of things. When we put all these like headline grams out, like we waste £10,000 on diversity projects. What's £10,000 in terms of kind of when we think about like government budgets and things like that? It's a tiny amount of money that's not really going to have a big impact in other places, but actually for equality and diversity,
it's massive.
It's really big.
Yeah, and it's almost like sometimes a tick box exercise. Like you say, I can kind of understand what you're saying there, but also, you know, it's tick box exercise, and if you actually cared about that group, then you would not be cutting equality funding or diversity funding from, you know.
Yeah. And I think it is kind of that, isn't it? Like that tick box exercise. I think we see lots of companies coming out of Pride. So many companies will have like the Pride Progress flag, but where are they the rest of the year? Like what are they doing for the LGBTQ plus community the rest of the year? Are they there, or are they just there to kind of make a little bit of extra money, promote themselves, just look how great we are?
Yeah. I wish I knew, like, I wouldn't really know where to find, you know, groups to support or anything like that. I have this, like, weird suspicion that social media or online news or whatever only shows what they want you to show. So actually the stuff that you really care about and make you passionate about and that you would want to be involved in, you just never see.
No, it is. I think with media it's very much like centred on what they want us to know and kind of to get us thinking what they want us to think. So you do have to dig a bit deeper, don't you, and make connections with people. Like I think I've learned a lot from people, or kind of like educating yourself. Like it's a sin, like we just talked about. Like what a great way to kind of learn about history there, and hopefully kind of stopping kind of history repeating itself. So the importance of kind of, I don't know if you've heard of PrEP.
No.
So PrEP's kind of a medication that you can take to prevent HIV. So kind of it's a tablet, you can take it kind of every day, and that kind of significantly reduces the chance of contracting HIV. But obviously that's so important, because kind of HIV now I think is lower in gay men than it is women.
Oh wow!
So I think like a straight woman or a straight man, actually there's more chance of having HIV as a straight woman or straight man than there is as a gay person. But that's because of kind of PrEP and kind of I think the extra steps they take to be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of awkward. There's a lot to be said about people coming together, you know, and I just think, like everything that you've just said about specifically trans, I think community is just everything. And there should be more promoting around where people can find those communities to have that support, rather than like, you know, just being at home on your phone, feeling quite isolated.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously we want to talk about growth as well. So we're just going to pivot a little bit and talk about growth. And I really want to talk about your growth and your confidence journey. And what would be the biggest part of your life that you think you've made the most growth?
Do you know, I think the last 2 years, so like probably like we'll whisper it because I don't really want to reveal my age, but since like hitting the 30s, like hitting 30, I think my perspective totally changed. Like I used to be so scared of getting older. Like I used to hate it. I still don't really like my birthday because I'm like, why are we celebrating getting a year older? Like it's nothing to celebrate that. But in terms of kind of, I don't know, I think I've already found myself and kind of really put myself out there and tried lots of different things that I would never have done. So gained a lot of confidence. So for me, I think going to the gym. So never really been someone who's wanted to go to the gym. Exercise never really appealed to me. But kind of last year I was like, right, do you know what? I'm going to go to the gym, got a personal trainer. And I think one of those barriers that was stopping me was, well, I'll get to the gym, I won't know what I'm doing. So I'll be like, I'll just look stupid. Like people will be looking at me like, oh my God, what's he doing? So I got a personal trainer just to kind of support me on that journey. And actually that was really helpful because I learned how to do things and felt much more comfortable in the gym. I think I chose a gym that was like right for me. So I think there's certain gyms that you go to and it's very much kind of like selfies in mirrors, like I'm wearing my best gym gear and all that kind of stuff. So my gym's pretty sound, to be fair. There's not really any of that. It's kind of like people just go get on with it. It's a nice place to be. So I think kind of having that consistency and going to the gym, and I'm not going to lie, like I say consistency, like there'll be weeks where I'm like, oh, I can't go this week, it's just too much. But then like...
Don't you have your PT that messages you and says like, get to the gym, or you'll say to your PT?
No, my PT was quite relaxed, to be fair.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I did have to tell him one day, I was like, can you just like text me to make sure I'm actually coming? I was like, do you check the system to make sure I've been? And he was like, no, of course don't. You should just come. And I was like, yeah, I should, but I haven't.
I need more from your PT. Come on. I need social support as well. Get me to the gym.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of that balance, isn't it? Like, I'm not necessarily going to the gym to kind of gain like loads of muscle. I'm not really bothered about that. It's just kind of something to kind of improve health and well-being. So that's kind of what I get out of going to the gym. So if I go like 5 times one week and then one day the next week, it doesn't really matter too much. And I think there is something in that consistency, isn't there? There's also something about listening to your body, and there's days when you just can't be bothered going, and that's fine. Like if you start putting pressure on yourself and being like, oh, you should have gone, like you're so bad for not going, well, you're just going to feel worse.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's okay to do nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. Like I listen to podcasts and it's like, you should do this. Like if you're going to grow, you need to do this every single day. Otherwise, and do you know what? I'm just like, no, I can't deal. Like that's not it. It's not for me.
No, I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
All you ever say is like, do more. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually going to do nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to feel okay. I used to put loads of pressure on myself as well. And I'd be like, I've got to do something every single minute of the day on the weekend. And if I don't do something, my mind is just racing that much about, should we do this? Should we do this? Should we do this? You know, you see it on Instagram where you like takes the mickey out of it. But actually, I've learned the past couple of years to just do nothing and chill. And I love chilling. I've gone the complete opposite way.
No, I like when someone says, do you want to go for an hour? I'm like, oh my God, why? Like, I just can't go. Like, I'll go out for maybe a couple and I'm like, right, it's at home time yet. Like 9 o'clock, I want to be in bed.
I know. Like Lewis's friend, but Lewis's friend was coming up on Friday and they're not coming anymore. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
We don't have to go out and drink. That sounds so boring, doesn't it? But I just, and I love chilling.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of, you go out and have a drink and then I don't really get hungover. I get a bit tired, but then it's kind of like I lose motivation. So I think I just use all this motivation energy I have for the week all in one night. And then the rest of the week I'm like, oh, I'll just eat rubbish. Oh, I can't be bothered. I'll just stay in bed. I'll have a little lie in. Like it really impacts my routine. So when I say no to going out, like that's part of the reason, because I'm like, I don't want to be suffering from this for like the next week.
A week. It literally takes a week, doesn't it? Because you've just got that like fuck it mentality where you're just like, oh, I'll just get some chips or I'll start the diet next Monday, eat loads of rubbish. And then my mental health goes because I'm like eating rubbish food, so I feel sluggish, not sleeping. Yeah, all that crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so the gym. What about you solo travelling?
Oh yeah, so I for like quite a few years I said I want to go interrailing. So I don't know if you know what interrailing is?
Yeah.
So basically travelling kind of around Europe and you kind of hop on trains, stay in hostels, kind of just explore. So I've wanted to do it for years, and then kind of COVID happened and then that was a good excuse not to do it. So last year I was just like, do you know what? If I keep saying I want to do it, but I don't, then I'll just keep in this circle where I'll just keep saying it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. So I used a company to kind of help me because I was a bit worried about like, how do you navigate it? Like as a job, I'm a project manager, but to manage my own life and organise my own life, like I'm not so good. Like I hate doing that. So I paid for a company to organise it. So they booked all the trains, all the accommodation. So all I had to worry about was what to do when I got to the place. So I think I went to about 12 cities, 8 countries in 3 weeks. So took a little bit of like extended annual leave and did that. So went over August time and it was amazing, you know, absolutely amazing. So I saw so many places and did so much and really put myself out there and did things that I wouldn't normally do. Like I was in Amsterdam, I went to like a modern street art gallery and then I was sitting there colouring in. Like,
love that.
That's not something I'd normally do. And I think if I was with my friends, they'd be like,
what are you doing?
We're not doing that. Like, are you okay? But like, I had a lovely time. And like the people you meet as well, like the people I met were great. And I think there's friendships probably you make for life on that journey. There's people who you kind of meet there and then, kind of learn a bit about their life, like learn about where they're from, kind of culture, all that kind of stuff, which is great. And you know that's not a connection for life, that's kind of just a conversation there and then. And then you meet people kind of on the journey and you might kind of go out on day for a day out with them or something like that. But it's kind of, there's different levels of friendship you make on those journeys, and I think that's brilliant. Like you learn so much about the people. So yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone. And staying in hostels, like I was a bit worried about staying in hostels. But they were actually fine, you know. Like, I think the company chose well in terms of like hostels, but some of them were like nicer than hotels I've stayed in. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like I was in bedrooms, like generally there was about 8 people in the room, like bunk beds. So I was like, oh, when you got there and you were on a top bunk, I was like, oh no.
So did you take a sleeping bag or is there like...
No, there's like bed in there, but you have to make your own bed.
Okay.
And I don't like making my bed. Like, so think like I move around every 2 days, so I've got to make my bed. Like, that's probably the worst part of the whole trip. Like, just too much.
You don't go on holiday to make your own bed.
No, especially when it's top bunk.
No.
Like, dangerous that. But yeah, so like being in those dorms, like I thought I'd hate it. But actually, like I was in one, I think, when I got to Rome, and I was the only one in it. I was like, I need more people. Like I can't stay in here on my own. Like this is so boring.
Yeah.
So like having people around you kind of just get used to it quite quickly.
Yeah, and I guess because like everyone's in there solo or is travelling doing the same thing, everyone's quite open to chat.
Yeah, literally. And I think there's so many people that you can meet. There's bound to be someone you can make a connection with. And sometimes like I was in some cities just for one night, so I kind of just thought like I need to recharge my social battery. I'm not going to socialise. Like I'm just kind of just gonna have a bit of me time. And I think giving myself that, I didn't wear myself out too much, because I think you can put so much pressure on yourself that you've got to do absolutely everything, because like you're doing it for 3 weeks, like try and cram as much in. But by doing that, you're not necessarily going to enjoy it. You might see loads and see loads more, but actually like taking it at your pace, like I had a good plan like of what I wanted to see in each place. And then if people, I met someone in a hostel and they wanted to see that as well, come with me. But like it wasn't about changing plans to kind of fit in with other people, which was quite nice about that solo travel. Like I got up quite early, so I got up quite early, got out, it's about exploring. Whereas when you're kind of travelling with other people, you're kind of waiting for people to get up, to want to go for breakfast, and kind of, before you know it, you've lost half your day.
Yeah. And then you've got that horrible feeling inside where you're like, oh, I'm not doing the things that I want to do. And, you're not your best self, are you? So, but I feel like even that whole doing it at, once you pass 30, like you don't put that much pressure on yourself as much. I think once you get over your 30s, like what you were saying before, it is a lot easier to just be like, and you know yourself a little bit more. So like, actually, I need this time to chill.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think with confidence, so if I think I'd have done that at 18, I'd have been so scared to speak to people. Like, I think I'd have found it really difficult. Whereas kind of doing it at my age now, I felt really comfortable, and like, I felt like there's so much more opportunity to me at doing it at that age now for me. And I think people probably would be a bit scared doing it. But I met people who were like 40, like interrailing stuff. So like, I don't think there's a limit to doing it. I think it's, if it's right for you, like there's a good mix of ages, to be fair, who I met. And I think socialising with people of different age as well. So one evening I was with someone who was about 50, I think, and like telling me all about his life. I think he was from Norway or something like that. Then I was with a girl from Germany who was like 19, and kind of like, I think people who travel, so you do have like proper travellers, so like they're kind of the ones who are quite useful to kind of get in with, because they're able to give you loads of tips about kind of like where's good to visit, or kind of tips how you manage in a hostel and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then do you find that as well, like, because when you're meeting people who are travelling, everyone's quite open-minded, and, it's not like in the UK, no one speaks to anyone.
Yeah, and I feel like in the UK, we're so strange, because like going for a meal on your own or anything like that, I think we're terrified of it, aren't we? Like people don't like doing it. I think people are so self-conscious of it. Whereas in Europe, I think the whole culture is a lot more chilled out. And I think it shows with European people. They seem to be a lot more confident than us. Like for us to go and speak to a stranger, like I think a lot of us, not everyone, but a lot of us, I think really struggle with doing that. Whereas a lot of European people, like they find it so easy, and it's so good. And I feel like you can have like a really rich conversation with people like that, who are just kind of up for just chat, like see what happens from this conversation. Like we might get on, we might not, but oh well.
Just chat. I find, so I went to Rome a couple of weeks ago, and I found a lot people, all different ages, would just go in and have dinner on their own, sat next to me and live in this really nice restaurant. And there's this woman that was there, and she was just, it was everywhere actually. There was just so many people that were just taking themselves out for dinner, dressed up as well, and I just think, I love that. We're too judgy in the UK.
Yeah.
People care way too much.
Yeah, literally. Like, I think what a good way to recharge your battery by going out and just not having to speak to anyone, just enjoying like a lovely meal on your own. Like, that's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice, yeah. And I like, whenever I go to Spain, I always see like all the families and community come together, and they're like be on the beach and have barbecues. Obviously, we don't have the weather here. Maybe we would if we had the weather. But again, that sort of thing, I just think it's done better elsewhere.
Yeah, really, really nice culture. Like, I love the Spanish culture. I think I'd love to live in Spain. I think it'd be amazing.
It's such a vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, how's your Spanish going?
So I did Duolingo, didn't I, for about 7 months. So got
Yeah.
right Duolingo. And I was like, right, I need to step this up and actually practice talking. And I'm still not great at the talking bit. So I can read it
Yeah.
and I'm like, can put words together and stuff. But when it comes to speaking it, I'm like, I just go mute. I'm like, oh my God, what is it I'm saying? So I was like, I need to practice. So I went to the uni and did like an evening class.
Yeah.
So I passed that, like, I don't know how I passed it. I was sitting in the exam and it was literally just guessing, like, it was hard, but like I passed that. So
No way.
I'm kind of back on Duolingo now. So it was only like A1, so it's like basic level, but I'm back on Duolingo doing like the next level up and then probably go back and kind of do that again at uni.
I love it.
Next year in like
So you're
September
sticking to
time.
it?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's another kind of example of that growth and confidence. I
Yeah.
think like by setting yourself challenges, like I don't know what my overall kind of goal is with learning Spanish. Like I think when I was interrail, it made me realise when we go on holiday, generally, like, we just speak English. Like, and we expect everyone to speak English.
So rude.
And I started finding it embarrassing. Like, people could speak like multiple languages. And then I'm there like, yeah, I can only speak English. So that was kind of a bit of a driver for doing it. And I think like, if I ever wanted to live in Spain, like it opens up a bit of an opportunity, doesn't it? And you've got something behind you. And I think it just looks good to be able to say, yeah, I can speak another language. Like,
yeah.
It's quite cool.
It is cool. It is cool. And it sounds so much nicer as well. I could listen to Spanish all day
Yeah.
and like talk to me. Love it. Sounds amazing, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Whereas English, we're just like very like chunky.
Yeah. I love some of the Spanish words.
Yeah. What's your favourite Spanish word?
I think casa, it's house, isn't it?
Okay.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Casa. Yeah, it's like Casa Amor on Love Island. Cringe that I just said that. Secretly love it, don't we all? Ha ha ha. Oh my God, like we could talk for hours. We could literally talk for hours.
Well, we went out for lunch, like we went out for dinner, didn't we? Like a few months ago, and I think we were there about 3 hours. I think we were.
Was we?
I think we were there for ages.
Was
yeah.
we? What, in that Sticks?
Yeah.
Was we there for ages? I just love talking to you.
I know, we've got so much to talk about.
I
And
know.
I think, yeah, we don't see each other like all the time, do we? So I think when we come together, like we've got a million things to catch up on.
I know. I love it so much. So should we talk about our new favourite thing?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Right, is it ChatGPT or ChatGPT?
ChatGPT.
P or B? Sorry, I'm shouting. Getting excited.
Oh, no, you've messed it up in my head now.
So I'm like,
GPT.
GPT.
Yeah, I think it's GPT.
Okay.
It's our favourite thing.
What is it?
ChatGPT.
PT. Okay.
Our favourite thing, but we don't even know what it's called.
I thought it was B. I've called it B. It's on my notes as ChatGPT. Obviously can't retain the P. Right. 1 sec, I need to cough. Right. Okay. So, totally obsessed with it.
It's life-changing. And I think it helps in everyday situation. Like, everything in my life, I think it can help me with.
Like, okay, so this might be new for some people. So it's basically, how would you describe it's AI?
AI, yeah.
Basically AI, isn't it? I'm guessing loads of people use it, but I don't think they do. Not everyone.
No, not everyone. I think there's people who use it and they know how great it is, and then there's people who just don't know what it is, or they've heard of it, but they don't really believe it's any more than like a Google search, and they're not really going to try it. But yeah, once you're in it, you can't get out of it.
I know. It's like a therapist. It's literally everything. Yeah. Right. So I've seen a few things. I think it's going a little bit crazy for some people. Like, I've seen a few things on TikTok where people are like, this is a bit weird. They're trying to like break their chat GPT. It needs a shorter name. They're trying to break it so that it's not just AI. Like, people are getting a bit weird with it. So they've like put a list of questions that you have to ask your chat GPT so that it has more emotional responses.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, to give you better quality answers. Because it's all about the more you feed it, the better result you'll get. So yeah,
Mad.
like I saw that you can train it to kind of, I don't know if this is in like the paid version or whatever, but you can kind of set up like teams of people. So say like you're doing it for a work purpose. So you've got like, my manager is like this, she'd be looking for this. Our finance person is this, they look for this. And you kind of create these people, then you'd put your kind of whatever in it. And then those people would reason it and argue out like they would in a meeting.
Stop.
And it's not to replace them, but it's kind of to take you to the meeting in the best position. So like,
oh my God,
you've kind of anticipated what they'll be asking. So I haven't tried that. We probably get sacked if we did try that. So we probably can't. But yeah, it's
like if you start putting names and credentials of actual people, it's probably not allowed. But it's so clever though. Yeah. What's the weirdest thing you've asked it so far?
The weirdest thing? I don't think I've asked it anything that weird.
So I asked it yesterday, or might have been the day before, about my dreams about Wales.
Your dreams about Wales?
I keep having dreams about Wales.
The country or the
no,
animal?
The animal.
The animal. Oh, okay.
I keep having dreams about Wales, and it gave me like this full-on thing about, do you want to tell me? So basically, dreaming about Wales is to do with accepting, or it's to do with like big emotional shifts. So it was like, so something must be going on for you at the moment that you've either accepted or what. So I was like, okay. So it goes, do you want to tell me about it? And I'm like, start telling.
So
I'm like, you said it. So I'm like, basically, and then it like speaks back to me. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a therapist.
Yeah.
Weird.
No, it's so good. I used it so much when I was traveling. So kind of put itineraries and made me itineraries.
Oh my God.
Like so easy for doing that. And even, you know, like if you're traveling like on a train or something, like it tells you like what platform a train might go from, or if you're buying a train ticket, how to buy a train ticket to the point where like the ticket machine's yellow, it accepts card payment, you know, like stuff that, especially like when you're a bit panicky about stuff and you overthink things, like it really just puts your mind at ease because you're like, well, I know what I'm walking into now, like I'm really prepared for this.
So the other thing I've done, which is pretty cool, that's cool, is I put in all my skincare that I've got. I was like, I don't know what to do with any of this. Put it in a table, said do it this day, use this on this day, this on this afternoon, It's given me a structure for my skincare, and I'm like I pay thousands of pounds to go to skin clinics all my life, and you just basically said what I need to do with my skin.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think it saves us so much thinking time as well. You know, the time you waste kind of thinking about stuff that shouldn't take as long to think about it, but it does. Like, it does it in seconds. Like, I love it.
Have you got any other hacks?
What else is there? What else have I used it for?
I've used it for TikTok food videos, and I take a picture and say, put this in a recipe that I can print off.
That's clever. I haven't tried that. I've done it for like recipes. Sometimes when I'm walking around Tesco, I'll be like, I want some like high protein, low calorie meals. I want it to have chicken in. I want it to have like broccoli in. And that'll make some really nice stuff. And then you can kind of say, okay, and do a couple of different meals. Then I'm like, okay, put this in a shopping list so you actually don't overbuy. And it's dead easy. So I love that.
So clever.
I feel like I use it for so much more, but I can't think now.
Can't think off the spot. No, same. My brother showed me that you can like speak to it. I've not done that.
Oh, I've done that, yeah.
Have
so you can practice like interview, like, so you could pretend you're going for a job interview. So be like, I'm going for a job interview as a project manager in kind of this company. Ask me the questions.
Whoa.
And like, it'll ask you the questions like you're in an interview. You speak it back. And then it kind of like tells you if it's a good answer, like, oh, you could add this to improve your answer. Yeah, it's really good for interview practice, actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are like, no, AI, because it's going to replace humans. I don't think it is.
No, I think there'll be jobs that kind of get replaced, but then I think it's about upskilling kind of people in those jobs, so that I think there'll always be jobs that people have to do. And it's kind of about utilising the time better. So kind of all the time we waste on kind of how do we write this email, how do we word this, like this action log, like how am I keeping this up to date? Like it can track you, it can do minutes of a meeting, all that kind of stuff, can't it? So it could save so much time there. And then the actual skill that kind of is the reason why you're employed, because as a project manager, you're not really employed to keep an actual part of your job, but actually like that's not a skill they're paying you for as such, whereas like those kind of actual skills that you really do need and really use, like your communication, your relationship building, like it struggled to replace that. But I don't know, in the end it might be robots, mightn't it, that replace us?
Honestly, I'm like, imagine if it's just like we've got our own little, but you know when you watch like a film, iRobot, and people have got the robots in their houses, I'm like, I would be one of those people that would have a robot in my house.
Yeah. Have you got a robot Hoover?
No.
So
Have you?
well, I haven't, but
Your friend has?
Yeah, and it's like it just goes around hoovering. I quite like hoovering though, so I don't think I'd want to give that job up.
I don't like hoovering. I need one. She had like 2 and she sold one for 70 quid and I was like, Tanya, I definitely would have had that.
Yeah.
It's class. You just hear it go unblocking and then it's just like zzz, just goes around the house.
Yeah.
And she has a dog and I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it is clever. And like restaurants as well, like there's, I think more in like Japan and stuff like that, they have like robot waitresses and waiters. So like they'll come in, like take your order, like deliver your food and stuff. But then like I quite like that personal kind of like interaction.
Yeah.
Unless you're hungover.
Yeah.
Then you want to go somewhere like a Hungry Horse where you just pay for your meal at the till and you don't have to wait around.
Or scan your QR code on the table and you're like, don't talk to me. Just bring it. I don't know, yeah. It's a weird one, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
I find it quite exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so it was kind of I was kind of meant to talk about it in the growth bit, but we got sidetracked and I just like getting sidetracked and that's the best way. Toxic people, right? And obviously we spoke about growing confidence, and when you've got people in your life who are not necessarily good for you, then that can impact on your confidence, can't it?
Definitely.
And I wanted to just ask you about how so I've got a little quick fire load of things and I'll ask you them and you'll say whether it's a red or a green flag.
Okay, this sounds fun.
Yeah. And then I want to ask you like what you do to stay away from these people. Okay, so I will just say them and just tell me if it's a red or a green. Can't say it. Green. Can't get my words out today. Too excited. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
They've got no social media.
Green flag?
Oh, okay. They hype you up in front of everyone.
Green flag?
Yeah. They're best friends with their ex.
Red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag. They pay on the first date.
Green flag?
They've never been in a serious relationship.
I don't know because that's me. I'm not going to red flag myself. Defo a green flag. Defo a green flag.
I was like, this is actually you. Are you a red or a green flag, Nate?
I think green, but I'd do some serious digging before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd want to do the digging.
Like, why? Yeah. What's going on? You've not, like, let's see. What about, that's that one. They match your effort and energy.
Yeah, I think that's a green flag, yeah.
Yeah. They say, I'm just really honest and I speak my mind.
I do think that's a green flag to an extent, but then I think some people take it a little bit too far, don't they?
Oh, God, yeah.
So can we amber it? An amber flag?
Like, I don't have that category, but yeah, we'll just amber. Okay, we've got some ambers going on as well. We're going to have bloody blue in a minute. Oh, they don't like dogs.
I'm not a massive fan of dogs, so green flag. Are they a cat person?
Are you a cat person?
Yeah, 100% cat person. I just think cats are so much cooler. Like, cats are just there, like, chilling. Like, they're not needing, like, they're not jumping up at you. They're not smelly with their breath. Like,
They're not smelly with the breath.
Yeah, no, I'm full of cats, you know.
That's so funny. I'm a cat person. I feel like Lewis says I'm like a cat because I'm just like on edge all the time. Like,
yeah, they are a bit scared, like, yeah.
Like scaredy cats. Okay, I love that some of these things are you and they're in like the red flag section, but we're saying the green. Didn't know you was a red flag, Nate, not gonna lie.
Neither did I. Maybe this starts going wrong.
Oh my God. Okay, they post gym mirror selfies every day.
Oh, red flag.
Definitely. They still live with their ex. Yeah, that's definitely a red flag. They love bomb you in a week.
Oh no, that's a red flag.
That's the worst red flag, isn't it?
That's run.
That's like abort ship. Swim. Just get away. They go to therapy regularly.
Do you know, I wouldn't say that's a red
that
flag.
amber?
I'd say, yeah.
Bit of an amber.
That's an amber.
Depends how long for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT, I'm on it every day. So that's a red flag.
Yeah, maybe you're a red flag too.
Oh, God. Okay, let's do a couple more. This is fun. They've got hobbies.
I think that's a green flag.
That's a green flag.
That.
They speak highly of their close friends.
Yeah, defo green flag.
Defo green. They've been to a Beyonce concert and cried.
I mean, I wouldn't want to red them for it, but come on. They can be green. They can be green.
Yeah, / amber.
Yeah, amber.
Yeah, okay. Good. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that was fun. So you're a red flag.
I don't think I am a red flag.
I'm joking. Of course, you're not really messing. Like, how do you actually stay away from toxic people?
I think as you get older,
yeah, go on.
you kind of start to see through them a bit quicker.
Yeah.
I think it's probably life experience, isn't it? That like once you've dealt with a few, you kind of start seeing it. But I think sometimes you can just pick up very early on. So I went on a date once and this lad was clicking his fingers at the waiting staff and I was like, the ick unlocked.
Yeah.
Like I was like, get me out of here now. Like this is just awful. So like people who just do subtle things like that, I think are kind of like red flags, and like toxic kind of people who try and like, you know, people intentionally leave people out.
Oh yeah.
So like you might go kind of for drinks with kind of a big group of people and like they'll just intentionally leave someone out. I think that's kind of a bit of a toxic trait there. Do you know what? I've got like a bit of I'm not saying they're toxic, but people who are too nice. Like I'd say those people are a bit of a red flag because I don't think you can be super nice all the time. Like I think underneath you there's a bit of a bitch coming out, but like you just repress it and then it's just there, and you may be like a bit of a bitch with like a few select people about everyone else, and you're just like this really nice person to everyone else's face. So those people do scare me a little bit. Like I'm a bit worried about them. Yeah,
like I know someone who we're not really a friend or anything, but she was like that, and she was like really nice all the time, like overly nice to everybody. And then we went on a night out, this was years ago, and she was drunk and she was the most judgmental person. Some of the things she was saying, I was like, oh, okay. So I knew it.
Yeah.
It's like I knew it. There was something about you that I just couldn't put my finger on. And I was like, yeah, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. I think they bottle it all up, don't they?
Yeah.
Then they let it leak out one day and then you're like, yeah. So I think when you experience them people, I think that's when you start getting this kind of red flag over those people.
Yeah. The biggest one for me is like, same as you about being left out. I don't like people that make fun of other people in front of a whole group. Absolutely hate that. And then the other one is I've learned in the past few years about how people who are like overly confident, or especially I'm talking about work, that like talk the talk, that have got loads to say, and you think, oh my God, they know their stuff, are probably the ones that I'm like, that's a bit of a red flag for me.
Yeah. And quite often, like, they don't actually talk the talk, do they? They often walk the walk and like everyone's like, oh, they're amazing. But when you dig a bit deeper, quite often they're stealing other people's work and passing it off as their own. That's a typical trait of it. And just kind of like, I think they've just got away with words that get them kind of where they need to be. But when you dig down a bit below surface level, those people kind of aren't really good people, and they're not role models. And I think a lot of the time they're not there to support you in your career. They're there to support themselves and climb to the top, and they don't really care about you.
No. And they've got like I could never. The annoying thing is though, they're the kind of people that I think, I wish I could just be that confident. Or like people that are actually good at the job.
Yeah.
Have got like insecurities. Like I suffer with imposter syndrome really, really, really bad. And I can do my job. And there'll be someone who can't do the job. And they're like smashing it, like super confident. And I'm like, where's my bloody confidence? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
It is bizarre.
I wonder if it's because we kind of think about it more and like we put more pressure on ourselves. Like maybe that makes us even better at kind of what we do, rather than kind of like just being so self-assured that, oh yeah, we're great, and like just oblivious to kind of the fact we're not.
Yeah.
So maybe that little bit of like inner critic is
a good thing.
Yeah.
Because we're quite similar from a work point of view, aren't we?
Yeah. Like we are a bit panicky, aren't we, sometimes? Sending an email. Emma, will you just check this email before I press send?
The red pen of Emma.
She still does that to me.
She's just like she's just like a safety net, Emma, isn't she? She's like, she'll just do everything, like help you.
Yeah.
Please help. But no. Okay. So there are toxic, how you stay away from them. I think you're right. The older you get, the more you just sort of see them for what and I feel like the more self-aware you are as well, like when you become self-aware of yourself and go on your own growth journey, you know yourself a lot more, whereas you're not like trying to please other people, and you're not like constantly like maybe attracting toxic people because they feed off like people that have not got confidence.
Yeah. And it's kind of finding your people, aren't you? And I think when you are exploring that kind of like, if you see kind of a big group of people you perceive as really popular, like you'll probably be inclined to go over there and try and kind of like get in there. But sometimes that's when there's really toxic people. Like I was probably, when was it? Like probably 2015, 2016, like we ended up kind of becoming this massive group of friends in kind of Liverpool gay scene. And like, the more I realised when I was in it, I was like, we're not already friends. Like, there's the people who we were friends to start with, and then all you other people have joined us because maybe you perceive that we have like a really good night and like you just want to be part of it. But this group grew so big and it becomes so toxic, and like me and my friends left. Like we were like, what is this? Like this isn't for us, and kind of we really distanced ourselves from it. But yeah, it is finding the right people and kind of like make
you don't
mistakes.
need many.
But no, I think it is. It's having that small tight circle, isn't it, of people?
Yeah. Have your small circle of trust, I call it.
Yeah.
Circle of trust, yeah. So yeah, I could probably talk to you for absolutely, literally hours and hours and hours. You'll end up coming back and doing another episode.
Oh no, that sounds good. I can't believe how fast time's gone.
I know.
Like it feels like we've been here for 15 minutes.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It just goes so quick. This is what it was like when we went to Six, though.
Yeah.
This is what it's like when we get together.
Yeah, no one's doing that for 3 hours.
We could literally talk about everything though, couldn't we? Oh, I love talking to you. I love it. I literally wanted this episode. Honestly, I was trying to find me journals because I've wrote it down a few times, but I've got that many bloody journals that I was like skimming through, and I wish I had ChatGPT and I could go find where this is, but it's all paper. So I was like, because I wanted to bring it and show it. Yeah, so if I ever find it, I'll show you. But honestly, it's been something that I wanted to do for ages.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad you asked me. Like, it's been really fun. Like, I knew we'd have a nice time.
Yeah, same. So thanks so much for coming on. It's been amazing.
Thanks.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.